we have to get into that home run. Everybody knows it. Maybe take us back to Game 7, 7th inning. This photo, when you see that photo, what do you think, George? Because I know what Jays fans and Canadians across the country think. Right. When you see that, what comes to mind?
Well, I don't remember it. I honestly, I don't. Yeah, from the time from when I watched the ball kind of go over the outfielder, I can truthfully say I have no idea what happened. I could have ran into the stands and I wouldn't have known. Just one of those moments, I guess, right, where it's not for me. It's not that I didn't believe it, I couldn't do it. It's just one of those like I can't believe that happened moment. And when I guess I unblacked out, if that's even a word, I was sitting next to Dalton Varsho on the bat rack, like half bent over, like out of breath. I honestly don't know what happened between when the ball left my bat, but I can get you up to the at bat. I can't get you anything else after.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
I honestly have no idea. So anything that's happening on that screen or any picture, whatever you see of me, whatever you see of him, I don't know.
We all blacked out.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Do you remember it, or were you just wires are crossing?
It's just one of those things where you just get fried. Your brain is just fried.
You know what? Ernie broke a record, Major League Baseball record. Over 30 hits in the postseason. Go back in the moment. What are you thinking? You're just in the zone.
Yeah, I was locked in, but it was just a really simple approach. I was trying to get on base and trying to work a good at bat, and all we cared about in the playoffs was winning the game. So it made my job simple. I get on base, and it's going to help us win. So I was never trying to do too much. I just trusted my preparation, and it was a lot of fun.
Well, I'll give you the real answer. It was sick. It was sick.
You
to be
guys
able to
felt
do
it.
that at that stage, to set the Major League record for hits is unbelievable. So it's sick.
You know,
we thought so.
Yeah.
Sometimes when teams fall just short, and certainly, I don't know if you ever get over it, but to pick yourself up off the mat and kind of get going, sometimes for teams is really hard to do. It doesn't matter what sport, it's understandable. But we get the sense, again, from the outside, that this group, and I know it's a different group and it's a different year, but you guys kind of seem to be like, let's try and run it back. It goes without saying, but there's a belief, and there's a belief in one another inside that room. Is that fair? Like, it just sort of seems like this. We talked about the special group, but that this group may be able to use that.
Yeah, I mean, right, I think, it's human nature. When you get, a glimpse of something that you really, really like and want, you tend to want it more.
Yeah.
And I think what's cool is everybody understands that, one, our division is hard. Our division is, probably the hardest in sports. So for us to have to get through that, one day at a time, but to understand where we were, come that close to being the last, the last one standing, it puts a little bit of perspective. One, how cool that is. Just to have such a special season, getting to that last inch, but to know that we can do it, and we did do it, and to come that much close to it is something special for us.
You ever see anything like it? I mean, we could talk, again, I don't mean to be opening up old wounds, but just the irony of, you mentioned a game of inches, the ball jammed in the wall there.
Was it actually jammed?
Only the outfielder will ever know.
Right.
I mean, it looked like it, you know what I mean? It just kind of is what it is, right?
Put off the bag. I mean, there was just so many moments that it's unbelievable to think about.
That's our game. That's really our game in a nutshell. I mean, it's so hard to get to those spots, and everything has to go your way. And it's more so it just wasn't our time, I think. And I think we're right back to the drawing board, right back to it. And I mean, we're going to give them hell this year and try to get right back there. But
yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? Like you have to give them a lot of credit. They got the big hit when they needed it. That they made the play. So at the end of the day, I don't think it's so much of not what we did wrong, what they did right. I think it was an unbelievably played 7 games. I mean, it was really like 8.5 because the 18-inning game. But I just think it's just kind of one of those things where you tip your cap, you know what you got to do, and you play your ass off all year, and we'll see what happens.
Well, the season gets going on Friday. Quick thought on this team and the season ahead. If you look ahead and you sort of say, here's our goal, or here's our objective, or here's what we're capable of, and maybe just a season preview, what have you got?
Yeah, I mean, we brought in some great pieces.
Yeah.
They fit right in the clubhouse, which is really the most important thing for us because, we're so big on culture and everybody kind of pulling in the same direction. So I think they brought in some great character guys and obviously some really good baseball players. And we know exactly what we need to do. So it's just about going out, executing, and kind of enjoying.
We were talking a little bit about Toronto. We talked a little bit of Massey Hall. I wanted to ask you, greatest thrill for you where it was to play? You've gone all over this country. You've gone all over North America, Europe. For you, where does it feel when I'm playing, I feel at home, or I love it the most? Where does it speak to you?
Well, it's a very unfair question because by now, after 40 years, we've really played everywhere.
Sure.
And you can't imagine. So we did one tour where we taped every show because we're going to make a live record. And you think Massey Hall, Place des Arts, Hamilton was the best show. Hamilton was the greatest crowd. Hamilton Place before it was.
Yeah.
So you never know. But playing in Montreal and playing in St. John's, Newfoundland are tough to beat. And those are the places that we rarely do a show the next night.
Would that
Certainly
be George Street Festival, or is this separate from that?
We used to play Mile 1 or George Street for sure. But with St. John's, you don't play the next day because you're not sure whether you're going to get off the rock. But also, it's just deflating because there's such amazing audiences. And it's the same with Montreal. Place des Arts is where we play a couple nights, and you need a break to just recalibrate for the next audience.
We had a band in here the other day, Jim. I think it was our last home game. The James Barker Band, Canadian band. They've won they're up for a couple of Junos this year. They've won it in the past, and they were talking about influences and named you guys as well. I wonder how often you get to hear that, knowing that you were influenced by big names, no doubt, and maybe even some smaller bands or groups. What does that mean to you, knowing that maybe you're inspiring the next wave of musicians regardless of the genre?
Oh, I think that's hugely flattering. But I think it's also the ethos of the band, like to play everywhere, to encourage other musicians to play along with us. I think that's become a bit of a Canadian thing. When we started, if you played in the States, it was competitive. Like if somebody opened for you, they tried to blow you off the stage. In Canada, it's not the way it is. It's very, very, it's very comfortable to be with each other. So
supportive?
I think it's our ethos as much as our style of music. I mean, James Barker Band, I've actually done a song with those guys. They're great guys.
Come on.
But they're different. They're a different kind of music than us. But I think it's the way that Canadian bands handle themselves that we have helped to pass on. Lots of bands are like that.
You got the Junos coming up, and we were chatting a moment ago off camera. A few years ago, Junos in Calgary. I had a chance to meet with you. Somebody said, "Get down here." Jim and people are playing in the basement of the hotel.
Which one are you? Which one are you, Ryan?
The quality of the photo, it looks like this may have been taken in the 50s.
Hey, Ryan, before you say any more,
yeah,
which one of the five are you?
Guy holding the mandolin backwards.
Dome. I am holding a mandolin backwards.
Yeah.
But Jim, you're on the left. Tom Cochran is standing there, and you had asked, "What song do you want to sing?" And I said, "Could we play Springsteen's I'm on Fire?"
Yeah.
And you guys were singing. I was pretending to play something and singing. Your son was in the room. I don't think he's in the. And who was the gentleman on the right?
Brad Delgarno.
Okay.
Brad Delgarno played
talented.
for the Islanders.
First
That's
rounder.
who it was.
Yep.
First round.
Yeah, first
Hamilton
round.
Steelhawk.
Yeah,
Yes.
Hamilton Steelhawks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Brad has been with us all through this Juno thing. Plays obviously for the NHLers, and so the Juno Cup was for years. It was NHLers versus musicians, raised money for a bunch of charities, but ultimately music counts, which helps preserve music programs in schools. So the last one was in Edmonton. So the Edmonton Oilers alumni, and they were serious.
Yeah.
We always get a good goalie. So we had Ben Scrivener.
Yes.
Ben was great, and we separate our first period and second period by quality, so that our second period are the better players.
Okay.
And Brad was telling the guys, "You got to get ahead. Bring some goals up." And they're like, "We'll be all right. We'll be all right." So the second period starts, and we scored 2 goals, so we're ahead by 2 goals. And then it gets serious. And they are playing really hard. And we're up by 1 goal, and it's the last minute and a half. And Ben says, "All I want you to do is keep me at the side. Grab their sticks. You're not gonna get a penalty." Anyway, we did win that game, which is the very last Juno Cup. So we are the holders of the trophy for forever.
Beautiful.
And they were mad. They did not like it, and they did not take Brad's advice to rack up the score in the first period.
You're a Toronto guy. I got to ask you, maybe your all-time Leaf lineup. If you thought about your all-time favorite Leafs, I know I'm putting you on the spot a little bit,
right.
but, give me a couple of D, 3 forwards, and a goalie of all time for you.
Johnny Bower would be my goalie. Tim Horton. Let's go forward. So then it would be, Dougie and Dave Keon are both centers, so I have to move one to the side. Ron Ellis, Dougie, and then who would be the other? Boreas Allman. That'd be my five.
Backhand.
That'd be
Beautiful.
my five.
I'm going to get you to sign that hat as well. We're going to auction that off if you don't mind.
Right on.
And again, this is not new, but it's one every Blue Rodeo, every music fan should have. This is the greatest hits. And
Double record, good value.
double record, and I came across the second best of, the Volume 2 as well
Volume
today.
2's coming out.
That is rock solid. I
Yeah.
saw that today. I almost grabbed that one. But you've got some new stuff that you're working on. We should, we should talk a little bit about that.
Well, we're quite a ways through. I'm making a new record. I do a lot of traveling, and while I'm traveling, Greg's writing songs, so I come back and he's got 10, 15 songs. So we started about 2 months ago, and we've got a bunch of songs that are, I don't know, you always get excited, but it is exciting, to do a new record.
And the tour.
New material is the most exciting part of our biz. So, so I don't know, it'll be out next year, and we're excited about it.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're extremely excited and happy that you're able to be here with us tonight, Jim. And
Absolute pleasure. Thank you, guys.
For me, because I made the phone call,
Yeah.
this was like a big feather in my cap.
Oh, yeah.
That I was able to land a superstar like
This is
yourself.
big. This is big.
So I might get hired again. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Anyway, it's a pleasure to be with you guys.
Oh, I can't sing. I can't sing.
I want to just ask you, and this is kind of like picking your favorite kid, which nobody should ever do, but is there a song that you've come up with, that you wrote, that you play today, that maybe resonates a little bit more than others? I know you're fond of them all, but I wonder, you've played them all a million times, but for you, is there one that you're like, this one stays with me for good? This is a question from Candace out in Calgary.
First of all, you can't pick a song, but can I tell a related story that is hockey? So at the Juno Cup, we would always have, in between periods, we'd have a sing-off. So I would pick somebody to sing Try, and I would sing Try. So that's a very big song for Blue Rodeo. And I've always thought, anybody can sing. Even the people that say, I can't sing, you say, you can sing. So Lanny was the guy. And Lanny can't sing. Like, it was horrible. It was truly horrible. I was shocked. He's singing, and he creamed me. The crowd response was like, Lanny all the way. Lanny all the way. So that would be my favorite song. My favorite song would be Try, sung by Lanny McDonald.
That is beautiful. I'd like to hear a recording of that one of these days. We wish you the best of luck with the completion of the new work. And that tour, I know, was so huge for you. And you're obviously going to ramp it up again. And certainly you're not slowing down anytime.
No.
We really appreciate it, Jim. Thanks for sharing some stories, and thanks for sharing the stage tonight. This was a lot of fun for us.
Pleasure, guys.
I want to welcome our guest tonight. The James Barker Band is here. How about a big hand in the back? There we go. The Peanut Gallery's weighing in. But gentlemen, thank you for being here. Juno Award winning, and once again nominated for a couple this year. We're going to get into all of that, your love for hockey, the music. First, I want to do a couple of intros, and I hope I'm going to get this right. James Barker on the end. James, lead singer, lead guitar, and doing the bulk of the writing. I'm getting that right.
That's all right, yeah.
Okay, Taylor?
Yeah.
You are acoustic guitar.
Just acoustic, baby.
And devilishly handsome with the red beard. That looks great. Connor,
Devilishly.
speaking of great flow, on drums, Connor is here with the mullet. And Bobby on bass. Bobby bass here. Gentlemen, it is so great to have you here. We had a great chat off camera just a few minutes ago, and I want to pick up on that. Let's start with where we're at right today, and that is nominated for a couple of Juno Awards. And James, I'll maybe let you take it from here. You've won before. You're up for a couple more. Just tell us a little bit about, obviously, what that means and even the categories.
Yeah, it's crazy. So we won our first one in 2018, I think. 17? Was it 17? And then had the privilege of winning one a couple of years ago. But this year's the first time we've been nominated for. Well, I guess the first time we've been nominated for Fan Choice. We've been nominated for Country Album and won that. And so it's always an honor, you know. I mean, like, I feel like it's an honor because you always want to be recognized on what you've done recently, but also because like Canada's like talent pool is like crazy right now.
It is,
you
isn't
know what
it?
I mean? Like even for Country Album, I think about like Megan Patrick, she's been crushing it in the States. Cam Whitcomb crushing it. Josh Ross, you know what I mean?
Josh Ross, yeah,
And
I've
so
seen him. He's great.
just to be associated with those names. I mean, you always want to win, you know, and knock on wood, but just to be nominated is pretty sick.
Well, how did life change once you won that first? We're kind of bouncing around, but when you won your first Juno back in 2017, what did that do for four Canadian guys growing up in Woodville, Ontario, who put together a band and got the recognition.
It sent us on a 1.5-year-long radio tour in the United States.
Really?
Yeah, we literally came off of that, and the label's like, let's send you on the road, and we didn't come home for like a year. But it's, I don't know, it's a pretty legit thing. I don't know, there's something about the Junos that are extra special.
Well, and there's something about the relationship. We're going to get into the fact that musicians and hockey players, athletes in general, have this great respect for what you do, and it's mutual. But let's talk a little bit about how the four of you came to be. Growing up in a small town, Bobby, in Woodville, Ontario, as I mentioned. How did you four I don't know if you're lifelong pals and you just sort of made this happen. What's the story of the James Barker Band?
I'll give you the Sparks notes.
Yeah.
So James and Connor went to band camp together. It's not like the movie.
Camp.
Yeah,
All right.
Nothing
it's
like
not
the movie.
Nothing like
Not at all.
More. Yeah.
Way better.
And
One time.
they started that. They met Taylor. He was running a recording studio. And we were they were doing their own thing, and I was doing my own thing, and I'm from Ajax area. And then
Your own thing was what? Like hanging out at the laundromat
Like
or
different
playing
bands and
bands?
different
stuff.
bands,
Got
different
ya.
bands, yeah.
And
Playing bass by
firefighting.
myself, yeah. And
Playing
firefighting.
softball.
And yeah, so they joined the band that I was in, and then we kind of molded into the James Barker Band, and then since that day, it was just, I guess, off to the races. For
Yeah.
us, and then, yeah.
How about, okay, so a little bit of background. You guys are all playing your own thing, get together, and then when did you know we got something here?
I mean, like, kind of like Bob said, like, it was weird. Like, Connor and I have been playing together since we were 16. Like, literally, we met at band camp. We're like, because band camp is like, there's a lot of people doing like jazz and stuff, and we're like, you want to rip some chili peppers or whatever? And we clicked instantly, and we're like, smoking cigs and stuff and doing the thing. And
At
so
band camp.
Yeah, well, I mean,
yeah.
that's where you learn, right?
Pounding nails, just
Yeah, exactly.
Love it.
And so we started then, but we played with a bunch of different bands. Connor ended up going off to school in Oklahoma when he graduated, and I started going to Nashville. But when he came back, Taylor was like, hey, I got a buddy who's got a band. You want to come play? I was just playing guitar. Connor was playing drums. Bobby was playing bass. And instantly there was like this like gel, you know what I mean? It was like, oh, this is like just a lot of fun. We're just like bro down. We'd like play gigs, go have drinks, like get up to some shenanigans or whatever. And it was like, this is fun. Let's just keep doing this.
We play gigs for like $200 and have a bar tab of like $250. So we were crushing it. It was
Now
great.
we make $400.
Okay, so now now you're making 400. So you get together, you realize you've got something. How did the writing start to take place, James? And then how did you know you were actually? It's one thing to sit around and play parties or corporate gigs or campfires. How did you know you wanted to take it to another level?
Oh man, it's funny because I feel like, I don't know, when you first start doing this, there's a lot less thought. I think maybe other people are different, but it was a lot less thought about that. Like, I started writing when I was like a kid, and so even when we started the band, I'd already started going to Nashville. Like, I'd made a couple trips with Taylor to Nashville writing and stuff. And there's Woodville right there. No, I don't know, you just start doing it. It's funny, even when we were playing cover gigs, we were like, how can we sneak in a couple of these
For sure.
original songs in there
Really?
to try them out? And it's funny because people wouldn't know them, just songs we'd written. And if you see people like dancing when you're playing, the crowds like that are pretty ruthless. And we would just start sneaking them in, and then next time the people are like, hey, play that song you guys played last time, and that's how it kind of took off.
I walked in, did a little conversation once with John Tavares, and I asked him, what's in the car? What were you listening to on the way in? And he said, your band, James Barker Band. And I was like, wow, nice pull. But you guys have a little history. This guy loves you, and you guys have gotten to know him.
Yeah, I mean, the John thing kind of came out of the blue. Like, it was one of those things where we were playing Kita Bala, and we found out that they were coming. Like, it's not like they hit us up for tickets or anything, but like him and like a bunch of his family came out, and so we found out. So the next year we're like, hey, let's like actually like, we can get you tickets and get you in like a nice spot and all that thing. And it just kind of developed into a real relationship. Like, he's an actual like authentic fan. And one thing about John is he's not like gonna bluff stuff. He's just so matter of fact. And so, I don't know, we've had the chance Bobby and I got to go to his cottage. He took us out on his boat, made his pizza.
Must be nice.
He did make a really good pizza. He's got the good pizza.
Treated you well?
He was,
As you would expect.
They're awesome, and and just I know like at our shows at the Kita Bala, like when they were like, people would be like, oh yeah, John was having the time of his life. It's like, oh, is he coming back to like to have like party with us? He's like, no, he's got to train in the morning. I was like, he's so dialed in on everything, and
In July, dude.
Yeah, he was up at 6 a.m. in the
Bringing
gym
the
working
fresh
out.
mineral water
Yeah.
and that's great. But hold on, okay, so you missed out on the Muskoka side of it, right? But you also missed out on your brother's wedding because of a few Leafs.
Yeah, shout out to my older brother Matt.
Still making up for it.
Yeah, no, I a couple years back played a wedding for a guy who was very close with Tucker, Corson, and McCabe, and it was either going to my brother's wedding or going to play this wedding, and I chose this wedding.
Brother of the year.
Yeah, brother of the year for sure. Thank you. And yeah, I got a hockey stick on it. They wrote to Taylor, the best singer ever, and they all signed it. So it's like framed on a wall and will never be touched.
He's here tonight. You said we're going to ask him
Yeah.
if this is true.
Yeah, true.
I think Darcy Tucker is in the house tonight. I believe I've heard some reports that he's around tonight. I hope you guys bump into him. Yes, well, the Paul Langlois Band, member of the Tragically Hip. We're so pleased to have you. Thanks for doing this.
Oh, I'm honored to be here. I've been checking out your.
So you're the
show,
one.
and you have a lot of funny people on
Well,
here.
we've had a lot of great guests.
It's like Oprah of Canada now. This
That's
guy.
right,
He's
yeah.
coming right on.
Nice.
Thanks for doing this. Let's get right to it. What are you doing these days? I can look at some. You're still performing. You're still. Are you still writing?
Yes. So, yeah, like the last couple of summers, we played 7 or 8 festivals, my band.
Yeah.
Oh, there I am. Anyway, it's called the Paul Langlois Band. I'm going to go back to just Paul Langlois.
Okay.
Same band.
Sure.
They don't mind.
No.
But Paul Langlois Band sounds like a wedding band to me, and just kind of started bothering me. But we just finished a record, and it's all mastered and everything, and we'll probably start streaming it a bit end of February, and then put it out probably end of March, and try and do some summer shows. I only like outdoor festivals. I mean, we played plenty of places in the hip.
Yeah, the road and
I'm
you.
done with the van and
Yes.
all that.
Well, we got a little glimpse into that with that fantastic documentary that was released a short time ago.
Yeah.
I said to Kenny today when we were talking, just within a minute, I had tears because it took me back to a certain time and place. I had a chance to see your band 15 times.
Yeah.
And back then, me and my buddies were following you around, convoys, 10 cars deep, and we were going to everything.
Yeah.
And that really took me back to a really special time in this country. It was just magical. When you look back and you look at that documentary,
Well,
what do you
I
see?
couldn't. I went to the premiere, was here in the Toronto at TIFF at the Toronto Film Festival, and I left halfway through. There was an intermission, and I went next door for a couple of pints because I just thought it's going to be better for you emotionally because I know how it ends, and I hadn't really seen the whole thing. None of us had. I mean, we got like little tastes of it, but anyway, yep. So, but I finally did the following summer, so 8 months later, finally sat down to watch it with my wife Joanne, and she starts crying right away, like you said, and I was just like, okay, I wasn't prepared for that, and
it touched you that way.
Yeah, it's Mike Downey, Gord's older brother, did a beautiful job, and his team of telling the truth and making it honest and not like a puff piece kind of thing. So, no, I really like it, and we're very relieved that people think it's good because it would be a nightmare if I wouldn't be sitting right here if I wouldn't go out of the house if it was bad.
I'm young, I'm wild, and I'm free. Very happy to welcome in a couple of special guests tonight. We're, of course, talking about a couple of members from the hit band from Canada, Triumph. We are chatting tonight with Rick Emmett and Gilmore. And, guys, this is huge for us to have you here. Thanks so much. Welcome back to Toronto. How you doing?
Our great pleasure. Yes, we're doing good. We got free stuff and
Free gear.
And I'm hanging with my friend Brad.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're having a great time.
I love it, Rick. I love it.
I love it. You guys are going out on tour, Gil. This has got to be big news for you guys. I wonder, before we go back, I want to talk about what's upcoming, and that is the tour. As we look at some of the info here and that legendary icon, I want to actually ask you about some of that. But just tell us a little bit about the tour, Gil, and where this is going to take you and how you got here.
Oh, how we got here.
I mean, this is a
you don't
long
have time
career.
for that unless we be on for about an hour and a half.
The switch and said we're going on tour.
So let's just start with the starting of the tour. And it's 27 shows, this leg at least, because we don't know if there's going to be a second leg. And about 7 or 8, I think, in Canada, and then the rest of them might be 20 or 21 or something in America. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a nice ride.
Incredible. I mean, how did you get to the point where you're like, yeah, I feel we got a little something left in the tank?
It was like one thing would happen. Like Rogers would start playing the songs for the Stanley
wondered.
Cup playoffs. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then it's like, Songwriters Hall of Fame. We're going to induct you. And so one thing kind of leads to another, and then it's like, you want to tour? And Live Nation is going, hey, I think we can sell some tickets. And I'm going, really? You think you can sell tickets? But it's like, yes, apparently it's all going great. So
Did the Lay It on the Line kind of reinvigorate a little bit of everything, maybe open doors to a new audience and kind of get the juices flowing for you guys?
It was a sequence of events. I mean, we had a documentary come out, then we had a tribute album, and then the hockey thing just blew it over the top, with the NHL and Rogers, playing the songs over and over again. And, then our families got involved, right? Our kids got excited, our wives got excited, everybody got excited.
Well, can I tell you this? I'm really excited. 1985. I'm thinking. I'm in grade 9. Markham. I get on a TTC or Markham Transit to the subway.
Yeah.
I go down to Maple Leaf Gardens. My first concert I ever went to was Triumph.
85.
Love it.
So Thunder
Magic
7.
Powers, and I think it was 85.
Here's the band. Look at
possible?
this.
Yeah,
Look at
guys.
this.
It was unbelievable. It was my
Here we are.
favorite concert ever to this day because it was probably my first, but I loved you guys. And so for all the young audience out there today that's watching this, you got to buy tickets to go to Triumph. I'm telling you, it's a game changer.
Yes, well, I'm happy to hear that we took your concert virginity. I like that.
Now, when you see that footage, I mean, we're going to get into what Toronto meant to your career and the stories and the parties and the music and the fans. But when you saw that footage, what instantly came to mind?
Well, I think, was that Providence, Rhode Island, or was that the Spectrum in Philly?
I think it was the Spectrum in Philly.
Yeah,
if I
mean,
recall.
there were so many great arenas that we played, and that's another tie-in with hockey. We were always in a hockey dressing room, So a lot of what we see on there, the stages are the same, but backstage, being in those dressing rooms, a lot of fun actually.
Look at you.
Yeah, talking hockey and stuff. Yeah, look at us. Look at all those guitars. That guy's got a lot of guitars.
Hey, question for you guys. I have my favorite songs. What are your favorite songs that you sing, and is it one that stands out over the others?
You're like asking me who's my favorite kid.
we all have
I
one.
love them all,
Okay.
and for different reasons. On a given night, Fight the Good Fight is kind of the anthem that I feel like this is the heart of the band.
Rick,
but
I
then there's
love
other
it.
nights where it'll be Magic Power. And
Okay.
I'll go, no, this is the heart of the band. And then Gil will say to me, the lyrics you wrote in Never Surrender, they're fantastic. And I go, Gil, thank you. Maybe that is my favorite, yes. And the other day he says, we want to do I Can Survive in the show maybe. And I was playing it with him and I was thinking, this is a nice little tune. This is going to be fun to play when we get out there. So I don't know. My mood changes.
Okay, so we're talking about Magic Power. What does that mean to you when you sing that song? I have a meaning. I want to tell you about it afterwards.
Okay, well, I can tell you where it came from. The lyric was, I was 9 years old and my mom bought me a transistor radio, and I used to put it under the pillow at night, and that radio was like a passport to the universe. So then later in life, I'm on tour and I'm playing, and you go to a town like, I don't know, Baltimore, and you're playing there and everybody's singing this song back at you because of radio. And so I was like a love letter to radio. So that's what Magic Power was.